Can you give me one logical reason why they have put Maxwell in a Club Med facility, allowed her a puppy, and have given her preferential treatment at the hands of the Donald Trump administration? Can you give me one logical explanation and reasoning behind they did that? Can you also explain to me
Hang on, one point
why?
at a time, Brian.
Okay, why would they do that?
So
Yeah.
we're ceding the opening statement time. Let's just get straight into back and forth.
Okay.
Why would they do that, Andrew?
Yeah, so a good logical reason for this would be that they want to get more information out of her as to what's going on between these various cases. That could be one logical reason. Another reason, which is likely a good reason, is that she's going to cut a deal for names. That's another possible reason. So there are logical reasons why this is, but what you can't do, Brian, is you can't take an absence of evidence and then based on an absence of evidence, just fill in the blanks. That's not evidence at all. That's just speculation. Hang on, Brian. Hang on, Brian. Don't spurg out. Just let me finish. Okay.
Okay.
An absence of evidence does not make a case for you. You need to actually make an affirmative case for these things. But before we even get into that, can we start with what your ethical system is so that I understand the viewpoint you're debating from?
Sure. And then maybe we can get back to that if that's okay.
That's fine with me, yeah.
So I believe the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, should set an example for everybody else. I believe if you're the president, you probably shouldn't be attacking POWs and Gold Star families and attacking women on looks. You shouldn't be calling journalists names, and you shouldn't be hurling out second-grade insults. I believe that the president is at a higher standard than you and me and every regular, everyday American.
That's not an ethical system, Brian. That's just
Okay,
your
well,
opinion.
I'm giving you my opinion of what ethical standards are.
Yeah, but
Not
do you have an
$8 billion,
ethical system, Brian?
not taking advantage financially.
Yeah, these
of
are
your
opinions,
position
though, Brian. What's the
of the United-
ethical
No, it's not an
system?
opinion.
What's
No, it's
the
not an opinion.
ethical system, Brian?
My definition, which I am giving you, of being an ethical being. Okay, I'm sorry. What? Okay, I heard something in the background. I don't know what that was. My definition. You're asking me what my definition of what an ethical system is. What I am doing is I am giving you my definition of what I want ethically from the president of the United States.
So
That's
your
what we're
ethics
here
are just whatever Brian thinks is ethical?
No, my ethics, I think, are what most of the population thinks are ethical, which is don't cheat on your wife, don't be, don't be a liable sexual abuser, don't steal money from your position of power, which is exactly what Donald Trump is doing. I think these are very standard things.
Yeah,
that
but these
most
are,
Americans
but Brian, let me show you the problem. Let me show you the logical issue here. All you're giving me, you're just reiterating for me things Brian thinks bad. I get that. Brian doesn't like these things. You're not actually giving me an ethical system from which you're making these judgments. So for me, I'm using Christian ethics. That's informing my ethical judgments. That's hang on. That's how I'm able to come to these views. You have some kind of ethical system which allows you to come to these views. What is it?
I would say very basic stuff that you would read actually in the Bible. Don't steal.
So the Bible is your
Don't
ethical
shoot.
system?
Well, I'm doing it so hopefully you can understand where I'm coming from here. This is very basic stuff, and I'm shocked
Well, is
that
the Bible your ethical system or isn't it?
I'm not a religious person, Andrew.
Then what is your ethical system, Brian?
I'm telling you, it's very, very basic.
What?
And a lot of the stuff you would probably read in the Bible. Don't cheat. Don't steal. These are very basic things of anybody, let alone the president.
But Brian,
of the United States.
those are things you think bad. I'm asking for what makes them bad, other than Brian thinks they're bad.
Too, right?
Yeah, you've already rejected. You've already rejected biblical ethics and Christian ethics. You already said that. Hang on, you already said you don't believe those things. So Brian, what does Brian use to make value assessment, ethical judgments? What is your ethical system, Brian?
So I didn't say that. There are some things in the Bible that I do believe. I didn't say that I disagree with everything.
Based on what, though? Based on what? What is the ethical system you're using, bro? What is it?
I'm confused that here I am telling you, because this debate is not about my definition of what my ethics system is.
It's literally about ethics.
Hold on. It's about Donald Trump, why you support him, why I don't, where we disagree. We can talk about ethics. That's fine. I don't think Donald Trump has them. And you could say you disagree with me based on your religion. That's
The
fine.
debate's literally
But I'm
on
not
ethics, Brian. It's on the
okay.
ethics of
So
supporting the
I'm going to
president of the
ask
United
you,
States. I need to know what
got
your
you.
ethical system
Okay.
is. What is your ethical
And
system?
I'm giving it to you.
Okay, what
And
is
I'm
it?
giving you a basic standard of what I expect from somebody that would have basic ethics. That's the
Yes.
president of the United States, which is, as you interrupted me earlier, don't cheat, don't steal, don't lie. Those are the things that Donald Trump has done, and some of those things he continues to do every day. I
But
can't
Brian,
spell it out
what I'm asking
verbatim.
isn't about what you think that Trump is doing that's bad. I understand you believe Trump is doing bad things. I understand that. My question is, what are you grounding these ethics in? What's the system you ground it in? So, for instance, I'm guessing you believe murder is bad, right?
Well,
But
yeah,
yeah,
the
okay. So
system
there
is
has
the
to
way I
be,
was raised.
but you have a
The way I was
reason.
raised.
You have a
Sure,
reason why you think
sure.
murder is bad. What is
Yeah.
the reason for that? What is the reasons?
Well, you're talking about breaking the law. That's very different than some of the things that I'm referring to. We could also talk about breaking the law.
Even if it was lawful, wouldn't you still be against it?
I'm against any innocent person being hurt in any way, shape, or
Yeah,
form.
right.
It's the way I was raised.
There's an ethical
The way I was
system
raised.
here. What is the
So,
ethical
so,
system?
so if you want to really break it down to my ethical system,
Yeah.
which is a little bizarre, but we can
Why
go
is
there.
that
It's the way
bizarre? We're having a
um,
debate on the ethics of Donald Trump.
right. And I want to give you specific examples of why I don't believe he's a very ethically sound person. I don't understand why you need a
Because
definition,
you would
but I
have
will.
to compare
I,
why he's not an ethical person
okay.
with the
I was
grounding
raised.
hang on, with the grounding belief of what is an ethical. So for instance, if you say, Andrew, Jesus wouldn't like Donald Trump because A, B, C, and D, right?
Sure.
I'm deriving my ethical system from Christian ethics. So that's why you can make that criticism, right? I have no idea what you're deriving your ethical system from, though. So can you please, is it just your preferences, like things that you think
Uh,
are bad
the way
because they're
that
bad?
the way that I was raised, my family, the way I was taught on what's wrong and what's right, the way I was taught at a very young age to not judge people based on their skin color or sexuality, to treat people the way that you want to be treated.
Okay, so your
Um,
whole ethical system is just Brian's preferences.
I don't think it's just Brian's
Well, then
preferences. I would like,
whose other
well,
preferences are you basing
I
it
would,
on?
I would like to believe that most people in society, more than 50%, would agree that it's not an ethically standard good thing to do to say and do the things that Donald Trump does on a regular basis.
Okay,
Now,
so
I've given you
you believe that ethics are derived from the majority.
not necessarily. I think everybody's different. I think everyone's raised differently. I think everybody comes from a different background, different religion.
So which
But I
ethical system, which ethical system are you using then other than Brian's own ethics? If they don't come
so
from the majority and
okay,
they're not,
all right.
hang on, let me ask the question. If they don't come from the majority, they don't come from other people, they come
So
from
I would
you. How do you make these value judgments? What's the system that you're using to
sure.
say thing bad other than because just Brian
So
thinks thing bad?
for argument's sake, so that we could move the conversation along, because we've now been talking about this for 15 minutes,
The thing
I
that
will make it
matters?
easy for you. No, the thing that matters is Donald Trump's behavior and how you defend it, and we'll get into it. I will make it very easy for you, Andrew.
Okay.
This is me. You're talking to Brian Shapiro.
Mhm.
Okay. I have certain standards in a certain way that I vote. I'm sure some people agree with me. Some people disagree with me. I would imagine you disagree. I vote, number one, not on policy, on the human being. Are they a decent human being? By my standards, I'll make it easier for you. I don't want to support somebody who is a bad human being. By my definition, I
Okay.
won't use anybody else's definition.
So your
But
ethics come from from you. You're
if,
the ultimate arbiter of what is ethical.
um, I'm not, that's my opinion. Okay. And
Well,
what I
then what
think,
then what is this system for ethics here? So if you say all of these things are bad because I think all of them are bad, I can accept that. You saying you're the ultimate arbiter of what is ethical, I can at least accept that. But if you're trying to make an appeal to something else and
Mhm.
that's what your ethics are grounded in, then I
I'm not
need
trying
to
to make
know
it
that.
appeal. I'm not trying to make an appeal to
Then
something else.
you are
Okay,
the ultimate arbiter of what is ethical,
and
right?
if that makes it sufficient for you, Andrew, to continue this conversation, then I'm fine with that.
Okay,
This
so
is
do
me.
you agree that you're the ultimate arbiter of what's ethical?
These are my opinions on what I think are ethical. You might think cheating on a wife and having sex with a porn star 2 weeks after Melania has a baby, there's nothing wrong with that. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's not my
unethical.
question, though. We can get to
Okay,
those
but I
things.
understand.
I'm just
But
asking you, is Brian Shapiro, when you make an ethics claim, it's based solely on Brian Shapiro's opinion. And because it's based on your opinion, that is what is ethical.
I think it's based on a lot of things, and like I said, I am not a religious person. I
Yeah, I
don't
know.
live my life
So then your
as I
morality, your
but
subjective morality comes from your
but
own personal preferences, right?
okay, but
But
there are a lot of things that I do believe in that are wrong, that are stated as wrong in the
you
Bible.
believe.
I'm
So you
a
again are
lot of
the ultimate arbiter of what is moral or is not
a lot of
immoral.
a lot of my beliefs are maybe not the same as your beliefs or others. I'm
So
not
so you're
I'm not
so what makes yours right other than you believe them?
well, we can go into that. I think again, I think a lot of people would say that it's not ethical to steal. I
Well,
think
you
you would
see
agree
how
with
you just
that.
said a lot of people. So what you did
Right.
now is you're making an appeal to a majority again, which
Okay,
is
so
hang
let's
on,
just
hang
say
on, hang on, hang on,
okay,
Brian. I'm going to explain this
yeah.
to you. You once again are making an appeal to a majority. If you do that, you just say, well, if Donald Trump's approvals rating is above 51%, then you're being unethical. And obviously that's not what you mean here. So you can't make appeals to
So
other, hang on, you can't make appeals to other people and say the majority is where you get your ethics because it's not. So are you, Brian, the ultimate arbiter of what is ethical or not? Or can you give me a standard outside of yourself that you use for ethics?
in this specific conversation, these are my opinions, my beliefs. There is no system that I use. People can agree and disagree.
So for the
It's not about
purpose of
the
the
majority.
conversation, you're the ultimate arbiter of what is ethical.
I'm responsible for what I say on this
Okay.
debate. These are my personal opinions, and I've been very clear on that.
Okay,
Nobody tells me what to say.
so then why can't I just reject everything you say by just saying, "No, I'm the ultimate arbiter of everything that's
Okay, well,
ethical."
we can disagree on that, and we can have a conversation on why you feel the way you feel and why I feel the way I
So
feel.
you
I
have
could
no
care less.
standard for ethics other than you.
I have a standard for ethics that I was taught at a very young age that I believe in. I would like to get to Donald
So your
Trump, and
standard for ethics is you. Is
I
that
mean,
right?
Andrew, if that pleases you, Andrew, we can fine. That's fine. In order to move along the conversation, because quite frankly, Andrew, I think this is stupid. I
I'm
want
sure
to
you
talk about.
do. You
Hold
don't
on a
have
second.
any basis or
Hold on a
grounding to
second.
make criticisms
Hold on a
outside of
second.
yourself.
I have a lot of basis that I would like to get into with you. I would like to talk about Donald Trump. I would like to talk about his behavior, and I could give two craps what system you think I use or what I don't use. I want to know how you can support a man who attacks Gold Star families, a man who attacks POWs, a man who's in a $1 billion crypto scandal. I want to know how you wear that Christian cross around your neck and support this guy who is the ultimate sinner, who lies on a daily basis, who literally, in my personal opinion, along with Pete Hegseth, are committing. Okay. I want to know, as a Christian man, how you can support a guy who's cheated on every single woman he's ever been with.
And I want to
I want
know,
I want to know
Brian,
what your
okay, hang on.
system.
That's
Hold on.
fair.
No, hold
Okay.
on. I'm not
No,
done
you're
yet.
going to keep
I want to know.
shotgunning. You're going to keep
I want to
shotgunning.
know. Hold on a second. You did a
Okay.
10-minute monologue. The least you could do
I
is let me
didn't do a
finish.
10-minute monologue.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I want to know what your system is, where you think it's okay to support a man who's a liable sexual abuser, a 34 count felon, and a guy that literally hurls second grade insults at journalists, which you defended on the Pierce Morgan show. Now, I really don't care what your ethical standard is. I want to know you personally, how you
Mhm.
can continue to curl yourself into the MAGA right wing pretzel that you do every single day and hide behind your religion. I want to know how you can do that. So
Well,
why don't you
I
answer
was
my question?
just trying to get all this cleared up a second ago, but you
Okay,
seem
so
to
please
refuse.
answer my question. Please answer.
From what standard can you say any of this support that I do is unethical? What
I mean,
standard?
this isn't Andrew. This isn't going to be much of a debate if you're not going to answer my question.
I
So
am
please
answering your
answer mine
question.
now.
You don't have any standard from which to criticize anything I support. You have no standard to do this.